Hello, good afternoon. I'm Heda. I'm from Bangkok. I've been living here and working here for 22 years now. I'm a single mom. I have two kids. They're 15 and 11. And today I want to talk about my stand or some thoughts on Leni's impeachment, on martial law, and then what is the concept of shared destiny? Because these are some of the things that have been coming up on the website, and also for those who have been asking if I could speak in Tagalog, two things, okay. One, I'm an Ilongga, so it's really hard for me to be speaking in Tagalog. Okay, it will probably take us like maybe until morning for me to be able to express myself very well in Tagalog, because it's not my first language. It's not even my second. Okay, it's my third language, so it will be very hard. And then also because the eyes of the world is upon us Filipinos at the moment, and I think it is very very important that we also give out some information that is from the side of the government, because there is so much going out from biased media and from biased political parties that are in English, and they are all against government. And I think it is very, very important that we also represent what is good and what is positive about the Duterte administration. And we have to do it in English because it's being spread outside. Some of these videos are actually being picked up by other people and being shared on YouTube. And I think it is very important that we be able to represent ourselves, well in English. And also, you know what? So many people within our Asian region pay so much money. Like the Koreans, pay so much money to go to the Philippines and find some English teachers. So I feel that since I'm representing the voice, at least I'm one of the voices of the OFWs, I need to be speaking in English. And at the same time, I do believe it is very important that we represent the government in English language in the international arena. So that's where I'm coming from. But there will be some videos where I will try to be speaking in English and Tagalog, and let's see how that goes. Okay, so first, my thoughts on the bid to impeach Leni. So there are two sides to it. When last week, when I started my videos, I think the second or the third video that I put out was actually asking for Leni to resign, and I said I had 3 reasons why she should. So find that video here if you are interested in that. But I did call her already on that. And the reason why you guys are here is because the first video that came out was actually calling her on the things that she should be accountable for. And so it is already established. A lot of people have already come out. A lot of her former supporters and even former donors to her campaign are coming out and criticizing her and giving out the reasons why she may not be fit for office. And so that has already been established. However, Duterte also has issued a statement, and it is out on CNN, and he was asking for his officials to not prosecute or not to go ahead with the impeachment of Leni, or the process of impeaching her. And one of the things that he said was because, we just had an election. Just because somebody keeps on criticizing me publicly is not grounds enough for her to be impeached, and that it is a democracy and she has the right for free speech. However, I also do understand the other side, where even though Duterte is calling for that, there are supporters of his that see it fit and that see it the way to go, that she should be impeached. I actually appreciate those people who have spoken to me and have posted and have shared their thoughts and ideas on this page about why she should be impeached. And at first, I was trying to stop people from saying so, and I apologize for that because, you have a point. I'm not representing the true voices of the Filipinos if I'm going to curb or if I'm going to stop or if I'm going to try to stop for other people from voicing a different opinion from my own. And so feel free to share opinions and thoughts and links on the website. This is what this is about. We need to be helping each other to find links or sources of information that would help us to be able to see which side of the story we are going to stand for or stand by. And so this is very helpful. And this is what democracy is about. So it's actually a very good thing. It's a positive thing because we are all helping each other to make better decisions. And I think it's very helpful. So I appreciate that. So that's what my thoughts are on impeachment. In terms of martial law, what I'm coming from is my own personal experience during martial law and what I've read and what I understand about what happened. I don't have any kind of background in law. I'm not a journalist. Okay, I don't even have I don't have any idea, okay, about criminal law. So that's not where I'm coming from. So if you have some information about that, please do share that on the page. I think it will be helpful for people to have. As always, my goal is always for us to be able to see the two sides of the story, and not necessarily to cling or to support one side, but actually to look at the two sides and maybe form your own third opinion about it. So my stand, and I have talked a little bit about this, okay, on the website. Thank you so much for initiating discourse on it. It's a very lengthy kind of discussion, I think, if we are really going into detail about it, because people have different perspectives and people have different reasons why they support either martial law or not having martial law. So here are, let's say, my top two things about why I am not pro martial law. I believe that during the campaign time, what Duterte was aiming for was that if it comes to a point where he wouldn't be able to govern because of our present system, he was going to go for asking or implementing a revolutionary government. And not martial law, okay, a revolutionary government, because that would give him certain powers and it would be able to help him do the reforms that he wants, okay. So that's one of the things that I thought, okay, was a reason towards having a revolutionary government. And actually, if you have been following Miriam Defensor Santiago's sister's blog, Facebook page, her name on Facebook is Paula Defensor Knack, Knack. Please follow her. She is also well versed in international criminal law, which is such a great thing because we need that at this point. And she is supporting and publicly defending this current government, and she talks about, and she actually urges or encourages this present government, okay, to go for having a revolutionary one, because that's the only thing that could probably help implement all these reforms and all these changes that Duterte wants in his administration. So that's one part of it. The other side of why I am not very supportive of having martial law was I was very young at the time martial law was implemented. But what I gathered from that time until now is that there were many people who were killed. And you know what? I don't want to blame this on the Marcosists, because from what I've seen and from what I've been reading since then, there were a lot of people under the Marcos government that took advantage of the martial law decree, and so they just went ahead and then made their own decisions about things, and it wasn't necessarily Marcos who were ordering certain things to be done. That's from what I have read, okay? So I may be wrong. And so that's one side of it. And I know for a fact, because I've seen the documentary that Veronica Pedrosa has made when she interviewed Imelda Marcos, and she has done a documentary on this one. If you don't know Veronica Pedrosa, she's a very well-known and quite respected journalist. She worked with BBC before, and I think she's still with CNN right now. So what happened with her was that her mother, wrote a book on Imelda, and it was not a very positive. Imelda did not look at it in a very positive light, because it talked about Imelda coming from a very poor background, and from what I know, Imelda wasn't very happy about that. And according to the documentary and according to Veronica Pedrosa, they had to leave the Philippines. They had to leave the country. They had to be uprooted. The whole family had to live in the UK because of that. And Veronica said that it was she felt like she was taken. It wasn't just the uprooting. It's about being you were taken out of your home, and then you had to live outside because somebody in power did not agree with what your family stood for or what your family wrote. And for me, that is a kind of alarming if it happened again in our country, because you don't want to be part of that. What if there are people, or if you, for example, or if me, I was against something, and then instead of being heard and instead of being allowed to express our voices, we are going to be curbed, we are going to be stopped, prevented, limited, restricted, from expressing our own ideas. So that I feel is a negative part of it. So I don't have a lot of battery left. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is just to close up on martial law. So I have concerns about it, and I don't feel that we during this present time, 21st century, I don't feel that we need to be doing that, because the social media platform has actually allowed us to be able to talk to each other, to share information with each other, to be aware of what's going on, and to stop whatever it is that we feel is not right when it is happening or before it actually happens. So I feel perhaps a revolutionary government is something that would affect us in a very positive way, but perhaps maybe not martial law. But if other people have a differing opinion about that, please do send us, because it will be helpful for discussion. Now, the third thing that is coming up, this is just my first time actually to be informed or made aware about this, because this is coming from Paula Peachy. Actually, her name's Peachy, Miriam's sister. From her page, I saw her post something that Miriam has said, and I actually made a whole video on it, and it's about shared destiny. And Duterte also is supporting this. And what Miriam said before was that there is so much there's so much that goes into power grabbing in our system. It's like we party from one party to another, from one platform to another, from one idea to another. It's always about when somebody wins office, then the other party from day one would work hard, okay, and put in so much effort, energy, time, money into making sure that the other party topples down, is taken out of office, is impeached. And so that's why I guess that Duterte doesn't want the impeachment bid, because it is not supportive of this concept of shared destiny. Because what Miriam has always talked about in the past, from what I understand, is that the reason why our country cannot progress is because people from opposing sides of the parties or of ideas are always after each other's throat right after election. And so the work that needs to be done for the public does not take place, is not being implemented, and that doesn't work for us, the Filipino citizens. The projects and the platform that the officials or the government officials have talked about during their campaign can never be implemented if they only focus on toppling each other down, which is actually what I feel is what Leni has done with her pre-recorded video to the UN, what Trillanes is doing. It seems to me is always towards that, making sure that, okay, Duterte is stopped, okay, from doing anything and everything that would effect a positive change. It's just all about we're against you, we're not going to support you anyway at all. And so instead of Trillanes going to ICC to protect Matobato, as what I've read according to Matobato's legal advisor, why doesn't he just focus on making bills and for the Filipino people? Because that's what he was elected in office for. That's, Matobato is a witness that has been declared by our Senate as unfit enough that they didn't want to give him any kind of security or any kind of protection, because they believed that he was lying. And we saw that in the Senate hearings when he talked about one family whom he said had a member who died, and he said that Duterte was related to that death, and then the family turned around and with their lawyer had officially publicly issued a statement that said that the death in their family had nothing to do with Duterte, and Duterte's name have never come up in their conversations about the death in their family. And so these things, shared destiny, what does that mean? I think we need to be talking about that, because we're not talking about that on social media. In our conversations, maybe that's something that we need to be talking about more, because if we always talk about, most of us, if not all, about Miriam Defensor Santiago as one of our best. She's one of our finest. She was the only female lawmaker who was eligible enough to sit at the international courts for human rights. She was also the only lawyer, the only representative from a third world country who was eligible to sit at the International Court of Human Rights. So to say that she was one of our finest is an understatement. And so if we believe that, and if we voted for her, and if we still believe the things that she was doing and supporting when she was in the Senate, then we should also talk about and include in our conversations this concept that she was talking about, shared destiny. Okay, so that's my thoughts about the impeachment, about martial law, and shared destiny. I hope that that's been helpful. We will continue to be talking about these things, and whatever links, whatever kind of information you have, please send it our way. And hopefully our conversations on the page would be respectful. I know that sometimes people are angry, okay, and they can't help themselves from cursing. I understand, okay, but let's curse, and then after that, okay, please provide some information, because we need to be talking about it, and we also need to know and to appear knowledgeable, because the impression that's going out there is that we are truly retarded. Yes, we own, okay, our Duterte label, but we don't have to appear like retards. We need to, in order to do our job and to be effective in protecting and defending this government, we need to know what we are talking about. When somebody engages us in conversation, we need to have reasons why we stand behind Duterte. We cannot just say, during the campaign time, it was all right to say, basta gusto ko lang siya. But now, okay, we need to be talking about this with reasons, with concrete information, and we don't always have to be right. I stand corrected when I make a mistake, and I don't see, and I don't feel, and I don't think that, okay, my side of the story is the only one that's true. What I'm after is that we go into a discussion, into a forum about things, so that out there in the international media and back home in the Philippines, all these officials who are opposing the government, okay, would understand that our support for this government has reasons. We back them up with knowledge. We are intelligent enough to make decisions and to stand by what this government is fighting for or is all about. That's all. Bye.